You've probably been told to reduce stress, maybe more times than you can count. And if you're in the middle of a fertility journey, that advice can feel tone deaf, even cruel. So today, I'm offering something different. Not just relax. Instead, the actual science of what chronic stress does to your reproductive hormones, why the fertility journey itself compounds this, and the specific targeted naturopathic strategies that can genuinely help your body recalibrate. Let's get into it. Your body has two major hormonal axes that are in constant conversation with each other. The HPA axis, the hypothalamic, pituitary, adrenal, is your stress response system. When your brain perceives a threat, either a work deadline, a difficult relationship, the emotional weight of a fertility journey, it activates this axis and floods your system with cortisol. The HPG axis, the hypothalamic pituitary gonadal, is your reproductive system. It governs follicular development, the LH surge, ovulation, and progesterone production. Here's the critical piece. When the HPA axis is chronically activated, it directly suppresses the HPG axis. Your brain is running ancient survival logic, and in that logic, reproduction is non-essential when survival is at stake. Specifically, cortisol suppresses GnRH, the master hormone that signals your pituitary to release FSH and LH. Without adequate LH, the LH surge is disrupted. Without the surge, ovulation is impaired or absent. Luteal phase progesterone drops. And in your male partner, testosterone production and sperm quality are both affected. In my naturopathic fertility practice, cortisol assessment is standard in every comprehensive evaluation. The most informative tool is the Dutch Complete Hormone Test, a dried urine test that maps cortisol output at 4 to 5 points across the day. This gives us the full diurnal cortisol curve, not a single snapshot. What this reviews is whether cortisol is chronically elevated across the day, whether the adrenal system has burnt out, running low cortisol after sustained overactivation, or whether the cortisol rhythm is inverted, high at night when it should be low, low in the morning when it should be high. That last pattern is what produces the wired and tired experience. That is one of the most common presentations I see in fertility patients. Each pattern calls for a completely different therapeutic approach, which is exactly why measuring matters. I want to be direct. Reduce your stress is not a clinical recommendation. Here is what is. First, adaptogenic botanical support. Adaptogens such as ashwagandha, rhodiola, holy basil are not sedatives. They modulate the stress response, helping the body adapt more efficiently and restore cortisol rhythm towards its healthy pattern. Second, targeted nutrient support. Nutrients such as vitamin C, magnesium, and phosphatidylserine are all incredibly important for people under chronic stress. Third, evidence-based nervous system regulation. Breathing exercises, meditation, and my favorite, acupuncture, all help balance the nervous system. Finally, sleep optimization. Cortisol and melatonin have an inverse relationship. Poor sleep drives cortisol dysregulation, and cortisol dysregulation drives poor sleep. Treating sleep as a clinical priority with consistent timing and evidence-based sleep hygiene is one of the most foundational anti-cortisol interventions available. If any of this resonated, if you've been carrying the stress of a fertility journey and never had anyone actually measure what that's doing to your cortisol system, that conversation is worth having. The link in this description will take you to my website where you can book a free 15-minute discovery call. I genuinely love to be a part of your team. If this video was helpful, please give it a like and subscribe. I release new fertility health content every week. And next week, I'm covering the gut hormone connection